Simulation. Task. All physical cabling between the two switches is installed. Configure the network connectivity between the switches using the designated VLANs and interfaces. 1. Configure VLAN 10 named Compute and VLAN 20 named Telephony where required for each task. 2. Configure Ethernet 0/1 on SW2 to use the existing VLAN named available. 3. Configure the connection between the switches using access ports. 4. Configure Ethernet 0/1 on SW1 using data and voice VLANs. 5. Configure Ethernet 0/1 on SW2 so that the Cisco proprietary neighbor discovery protocol is turned off for the designated interface only. Let's see the answer. Question 2. Refer to the exhibit. The NTP server 192.168.0.3 command has been configured on router 1 to make it an NTP client of router 2. Which command must be configured on router 2 so that it operates in server-only mode and relies only on its internal clock? Options. Answer is D. NTP master 4. This command configures router 2 as an NTP master with a stratum level of 4, which is a higher stratum level than the default, indicating that it should rely on its internal clock rather than synchronizing with external servers. Question 3. Which function allows EIGRP peers to receive notice of implementing topology changes? Options. Answer is B. Advertised changes. EIGRP routers exchange information about network topology changes through the advertisement of routing information. When a router detects a change in the network, such as a link going up or down, it advertises these changes to its neighboring routers. These advertised changes allow EIGRP peers to receive notice of implementing topology changes and update their routing tables accordingly. Question 4. Refer to the exhibit. In this VLSM addressing scheme, what summary address would be sent from router A? Options. Answer is C. Router A receives 3 subnets. All these 3 subnets have the same form of 172.16.xx, so our summarized subnet must be also in that form. Only A, B or C is correct. The smallest subnet mask of these 3 subnets is /18. So our summarized subnet must also have its subnet mask equal or smaller than /18. Only answer C has these 2 conditions. It means C is correct. Question 5. How do TCP and UDP fit into a query responsible model? Options. Correct answer is A. TCP establishes a connection prior to sending data, and UDP sends immediately. Question 6. Refer to the exhibit. An engineer configures interface FA0/1 on SW1 and SW2 to pass traffic from 2 different VLANs. For security reasons, company policy requires the native VLAN to be set to a non-default value. Which configuration meets this requirement? Options. Answer is C. Question 7. What are the addresses that will show at the show IP route if we configure the above statements? Choose 3. Options. Answers are A, D, and F. Question 8. A network engineer is installing an IPv6 only capable device. The client has requested that the device IP address be reachable only from the internal network. Which type of IPv6 address must the engineer assign? Options. Correct answer is B. Unique local address. To ensure that the IPv6 address of the device is reachable only from the internal network, the engineer should assign a unique local address, which is designated for local communications within an organization's network and is not routable on the public internet. So, the correct answer is B. Question 9. Which protocol requires authentication to transfer a backup configuration file from a router to a remote server? Options. The protocol that typically requires authentication for transferring a backup configuration file from a router to a remote server is FTP. FTP allows for secure file transfer by requiring authentication before accessing or transferring files between devices. So, the correct answer is B. FTP. Question 10. What does split horizon prevent? Options. Split horizon is a technique used in distance vector routing protocols to prevent routing loops. It specifically prevents a router from advertising a route back onto the interface from which it was learned. So, the correct answer is B. Routing loops, distance vector. Question 11. What is a requirement for non-overlapping Wi-Fi channels? Options. Non-overlapping Wi-Fi channels are channels that do not interfere with each other, allowing multiple access points to operate simultaneously without causing significant interference. The requirement for non-overlapping Wi-Fi channels is that they should have discontinuous frequency ranges. So, the correct answer is B. Discontinuous frequency ranges. Question 12. Which condition must be met before an NMS handles an SNMP trap from an agent? Options. Before an NMS handles an SNMP trap from an agent, the NMS software must be loaded with the MIB associated with the trap. So, the correct answer is C.